Hey, hey, hey.
What's up?
Cheers to everyone in the room. Clink, clink, clink.
Clink, 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 clink.
Bow. In solidarity over there.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Chiara Morrison, who you guys heard from earlier during Black History Month. And basically, she's just a dope-ass person. She's been around media for quite some time, and we're going to hear from her, and she can tell us her journey. You're at KTU now?
Power 105 and 103.5 KTU. Yep.
Nice. Okay,
I love how you said that. It flowed so well. But wait,
you have a
first of
radio
all,
voice. It's like,
I'm C.
Oh, shit. And I'm D. And this is Black Meets World.
Yeah, so no, we could jump right into it. Chiara, please introduce yourself.
So what the evolution of who I am on paper comes off as a professional resume and something that has accolades to it. But I think that something really important to say about my journey is along the way I did anything I possibly could do.
Amen.
I never said no to work. I never said no to an opportunity. And so I have to say that this journey, being humble, being present, understanding that, patience and staying in the moment and knowing that I have big dreams, but the time will come when you put in the work, was something that kept me mindful about my trajectory. And so I want to start by saying that because it hasn't been traditional.
Okay.
So grew up in the New York metropolitan area and grew up in New Jersey.
Hey, what's up, Jersey?
Hey.
Where are you from in Jersey?
Maplewood. Where are you from?
Scotch Plains.
Okay.
It's not far.
I lived there for a hot minute.
Did you?
The bus to the city was a struggle, but
Struggle.
yes, struggle is real.
That's awesome.
We
But
went to the Women's March, and Dee was like, yo, we just passed by my town. And I was like, we've been driving for over an hour. What are you talking about?
We were on the turnpike, and she was just like, girl, I don't get it.
yeah, whipping it. I come from a bunch of entrepreneurs, a legacy of Black entrepreneurs on my father's side, from owning business in Mobile, Alabama. And so that thought and that hustle is something that I was raised in. My grandfather being a civil rights activist and, going to his office in Newark and working on the labor movement, and me, doing secretarial work at 11, 12, 13 years old.
Wow.
Imploding the last public high-rise building in Newark.
Wow.
Stella Wright Homes. It was, my grandfather had written a letter to me and he said, you're going to be a part of history bringing down the last public high-rise in the city of Newark. And with Mayor Sharp James at the time and my grandfather, I imploded those buildings. So I set you up to understand my journey as a journey that is of the unordinary. And I take that with a stride and understand that I may be a little different. And so then I got thrown right into the entertainment business with my dad. And man couldn't type on a computer and do his invoices, so I did it for him at 11.
Beautiful.
And stood on road boxes and told guys that just because my dad walked out of the room, you can't stop working. Keep on working. And I took that with me, and I worked as a production assistant on, competitor now, but Hot 97 Summer Jam for years and years and years. By the end of my tenure working with Hot, I was 14 Summer Jams deep.
Wow. Wait, pause.
Yeah, wait.
14 summer jams. Were those consecutive? Back to back to back?
Except for 1 year when I was
Shit.
focused on my career up in Massachusetts. Yeah.
Wow.
In every facet.
That's a decade and a half, damn near. That's amazing.
So everything from driving the talent in a 15-passenger van and having Chris Brown in the back with his puppy.
What?
And, young Chris Brown, pre-Rihanna, pre-The Chaos, pre-The Swagger.
Baby
pre all
boy
of
Chris
that.
Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Early 2000s Chris
Oh,
Brown.
yeah.
The young thriller Chris Brown.
100%. And then you had that, and then working in the main production office that created opportunities for me to go to Bonnaroo in 2008, and then go to Virgin Music Festival and produce that with a crew of folks from 11th Hour Productions. I mean, I was at a point that Summer Jam opportunity opened all the doors for me to be where I needed to be. And my last Summer Jam moment was finally working on the main stage, running talent on the deck with my father for Fabulous.
Yes.
Nice. What year was that?
This was we're in 2017, 16, 15.
I went to that one.
15 when Fab did that
Yeah,
set
yeah,
with
yeah.
all those people.
Yes, that was
Everybody.
crazy.
I remember that.
Okay, let me tell you. Break it down real quick.
Remind, for those of us who do not live in New York.
Yeah, what is Summer Jam?
So Summer Jam, Hot 97 Summer Jam, a legacy hip hop concert. It was erected when hip hop was becoming what it is now today, that mainstream. It was the breakthrough of taking an opportunity where you're taking hip hop from the underground clubs in New York to putting it in a main stage arena. And it had a few evolutions, and current evolution is at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, and it happens annually in June. And it's the precipice of every main big act, touring act, big surprises for Summer Jam every year on the main stage, and an up-and-comers on their festival village.
So let me just say, like, being from Jersey, you went to Summer Jam. That's the thing that you did. And so I went maybe 3 or 4 years, because usually it's the week before my birthday. So I was there in high school, and then when I was home from college, and then I think my last one was 15. So I had a good-ass time every year at Summer Jam.
And let me tell you, when you have 25 minutes and 30 seconds to the T,
Wow.
so that you make, just give or take, right? So you make your curfew, so you don't hit overtime, so you don't incur all these expenses. You're challenged as a performer and as a production person to say, hey, I got this time, let me make it work, and still be creative. And what I'll say about that day, and what was absolutely breathtaking and amazing, and I'm so glad it was my last time on that stage, was that we made it happen.
Hello.
And as a consumer, we killed it.
Yeah,
We be killing that.
Yeah, I had an awesome time that year. That was like Meek and Nicki were there, and it was Fab was there, Big Sean was there. It was a dope time. There was a couple in the middle where I was like, I went, but it wasn't like all the people I wanted to see. But I saw tons of people that I ever wanted to see, like Chris Brown and Kanye, and just mad people that would have cost me, a ton of money to go see them by themselves. Like Summer Jam allows you to go and see a ton of people you want to see for like not a crazy amount.
Sure. It's about the culture.
Yeah, it is about the culture.
It's about the culture. And I think that to bring it full circle, the evolution of how my career trajectory has gotten me to more of a corporate culture, I think it creates an opportunity for me to stand as a voice of opportunity to articulate the value proposition for connecting corporate and culture and what that means in the hip hop community, especially. And I think I'm in a position now, being the promotion director at Power 105 and 103.5 KTU, is to help to reinforce what it is in that New York culture and that New York brand on the hip hop side and the KTU side, being the beat of New York. It's special.
You sound like Sid from Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
Like this, like you right now, that's what you reminded me of. Like you just like trying to connect the culture and the corporate and everything you just said. I was like, oh, I love that movie and you sound great. So in addition to that, we know that you went to school in Massachusetts. You grew up in Jersey. How did you get to Massachusetts? How did you make that decision? And then how does your major and all that stuff kind of factor into what you want to do now? Did you always want to be in media? And, obviously you were thrown into it early, but you could have wanted to do something else. So how did you get sort of into that transition?
I was not a good high school student. I had a 2.5, graduated with a 2.5, just barely, all sports, all clubs, everything philanthropic, awards out the butt. Nice. But I only got into Hampton, and I got into Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts. So I had two choices. And I was like, family legacy Hampton. Do I want to go to the mountains where I spent summers with my cousins? I said, I'm going to the mountains. Nice. And I'm going to be a big fish in a small pond. And I killed it. And I graduated early, and I went for sociology. Right when I was doing like my visit in the fall, president came up and said, hey, I'm President Mary Grant. Who are you? I said, Chiara Morrison. She's like, I'm an alumni from MCLA, what are you interested in? And I said, I'm interested in sociology. She said, I was a sociology major here. I was like, well, I guess this might be a good trajectory for me then. Sociology, anthropology, arts management. Graduated December of 2009 and created a job for me at Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art, which was
dope.
MassMoCA. Was there working in, when I say I never say no to a job, got in at the retail store, then became an intern in the box office. Didn't think that would be an opportunity for me, but I knew that's the internship I wanted. Got $100 a week as a stipend all summer long, lived in housing with a bunch of people, and then convinced them to, hey, keep me on for my last semester, made a temporary position for me. I started doing security in the museum to make ends meet on top of it, was working at a coffee shop on top of that.
Hustler.
And ultimately graduated and was like, there's no economy here. And I came back to New York for a hot minute, and worked for a celebrity stylist. And when he called,
their name,
and
didn't have a good experience.
When he
Noted.
called me a stupid ass bitch, I said, I'm leaving.
Who's this queen, and why is he doing these things?
And so that was the straw. I got my little butt back up to Massachusetts. I started working part-time again.
So you went to New York, went back to Massachusetts.
Yes, I did.
Where'd you live when you were here?
I lived in my parents' house.
Oh.
Yeah. I was
oh.
like, I'm moving home. Did it. And I was like, you know what? Forget this.
Yeah.
Went and slept on my brother's couch with my big-ass 105-pound Newfoundland dog that my cousins gave me. Hustled my butt. I'll be honest. Went on food stamps to make ends meet. Saved up my money. Worked part-time. And then my boss quit. And I became the box office manager at 21 years old.
Wow.
Of the largest contemporary art institute in North America.
That's amazing. You go, girl.
What? That shit is dope.
I mean, and it's like I said, staying present, staying in the moment, believing your time will come, and not rush in the game.
So how long did you stay there?
I stayed there about 2 years until I hit the glass ceiling, and in that time did some really, really dope shit. Wilco Solid Sound Festival came there for the first year while I was underneath my boss, and then the second year had come back and I worked as the box office manager and front of house person for the festival and got to create a philanthropic initiative that gave back to the police auxiliary in the community that basically supported children's community activities, that kind of stuff. And basically they said, we need more housing. So I made temporary housing on a soccer field and made it into like a camping component of the festival, branded it Solid Ground. Jeff Tweedy came and played at this camping pop-up campground. I mean, you know, things that I could never imagine possible doing at that age, right? And then I was working on a jam band electronic-based music festival as a ticketing director and the operations manager simultaneously for the Big Up at a place where, you know, the Beatles recorded. Even saying this to you guys now, it's surreal.
Yeah.
It's surreal. And no, I never thought I would be doing this.
Yeah. You can just tell by the look on my face.
Yeah. I never thought I'd be doing this job. I went to school for sociology. Right. Arts management was an afterthought.
So let's bring
And Diana Ross.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Diana Ross is the reason. We can get back to it. She's the reason why I'm in this business.
No, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's dive in.
You can't just drop Diana's name and then not.
2008, Radio City Music Hall, Divas at Heart. It was a KISS FM show, 2 shows back to back. Diana Ross, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight.
Yeah. I remember that.
And Shaka Khan. I got some incredible stories from that day. I was overseeing talent. My dad was doing production. And I had brought Diana Ross. I don't know if you've ever been backstage at Radio City, but you can go under the stage and up down the back hallways, and you can walk to the back of the house. So I cued Diana Ross in a big red dress, and cue band, hear it in my ear. Go, Miss Ross. I'm coming out. Boom. Into roaring Radio City Music Hall. After the show, they said, do you want to come on tour with us? I said, Miss Ross, I'm very sorry, but I need to finish going to college. I said, I got to graduate. And my girlfriend turned to me and she said, Diana Ross said, do you want to go on tour with her? Like, you don't think you should make a job out of this? I was like, oh, maybe I'll just declare a second minor.
Casual.
And then right after I graduated, they actually asked me to go back out on tour with them. It just wasn't the time because I had that awesome job at Mass Mocha.
Wow.
Yo, I love this shit, man. So, Chiara, you're amazing.
This is like incredible.
You guys are amazing for having me. I appreciate you.
Yo, so you're under 30 years old. I feel like you need to be on next year's 30 under 30 for Forbes list. You know what I'm saying?
I just need someone to pitch me.
Girl, you can pitch yourself. You don't need nobody to pitch you.
And your connections, we gonna make this happen. All right, so you were at Hot 97. Now you're at Powerhouse. Considering this is not only a syndicated morning show that's on the radio, it's not only a syndicated morning show that's on television. Working with such a big powerhouse, what is your world in terms of work with them?
Just like I'm talking to you.
Okay, hello.
I am honest. I'm transparent. I am forthcoming. I keep it real, and I communicate, and I respect them because I respect their time, and I respect the energy that they put into their craft. And I think that when you treat people the way that you would like to be treated in that entity, yeah, you got Breakfast Club, but you got also Angie Martinez,
yeah,
and DJ Pro Style, and DJ Clue, and DJ Self. You got legacy people, and some people sleep on it. I'll be honest. Some people sleep on the power and no pun intended on Power 105 with really what they've done in contributing to the hip hop culture. Because, you know, even DJ Clue, very soft spoken gentleman, very humble. That man can tear it down. I mean, truth, like really tear it down. So I think when you treat people that way, you're real, they're real, but right back to you.
So your day to what's your day to day like there? If you can share.
Yeah, I mean, I would say about 3 times a week or more. I try to go up, you know, making sure they see me, all personalities, you know, keep common communication with, you know, Self and Clue are there usually after I'm out the door for the day. But keeping lines of communication open with them and checking in, and it's you know what it is? I go to work every day knowing that on my shoulders is 2 huge properties, and that I'm in the number 1 market, and that I got to put my best foot forward. And so, you know, going and taking care of the contesting elements that are on air, coming up with creative promotions. When it comes to the tentpole events, we're coming up on KTU 4A season for us and KTU, and planning events and planning a flyaway. And it's one of those things that every day is different.
Gotcha. So I'm not from New York. I didn't grow up with KTU. For those who are not as familiar with KTU, could you explain what the format of that radio station is?
103.5 KTU is a adult contemporary hot AC adult contemporary station. So it's the sweet spot of some of your throwbacks and today's music. So you'll hear everything that runs the gamut from that snippet of Eminem, but we're playing Ariana and Lady Gaga, and you'll hear Tory Lane's Love was playing for a minute there.
Oh.
So you're really, it's that smooth, we're the feel-good station.
Gotcha.
It's funny because
You
I
can
have
play
them
it
as
at work.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a preset though in my car for KTU, which I didn't used to have. So like my presets are BLS, Power, Hot 97, and then 92.3. 98.
I used to work there.
98,
93 now?
98.7 because that's ESPN radio now, and then 103.5.
Right. R.I.P. Kiss FM.
R.I.P. Kiss.
Yes.
Oh.
So Kiss FM, there was like 2 black R&B
I mean,
radio.
I think every big city in the country has a Kiss, and I just assumed it was black.
Oh, well, sorry. For those who are
No.
the
I got
2
you.
like black radio stations were WBLS on 107.5 and 98.7 Kiss FM, and they just like, what happened to Kiss? I genuinely have no idea, other than that all of a sudden one day I turned on 98.7 and I was listening to the Giants game, and I was like, oh,
This happened.
Yeah.
Well, Kiss is the concert that I was talking about. Divas at Heart. That was they did that concert. That's
right.
what it was. So Kiss FM, they switched formats. They sold the channel, and the creative properties went to a investment group temporarily with WBLS and LIB.
Okay.
And then that's how the evolution came back to MS, and then it was internal, and now it's MS is WLIB, BLS, and Hot 97.
Okay.
So it was basically, and for Lehman's terms and for baseline terms, it's basically like Kiss, that dial got sold, and then BLS and LIB became one with Hot 97.
They absorbed it.
Yeah,
Got it.
That's it.
Okay. And that's kind of, I mean, Lenny Green used to be on FM or Kiss, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So now
exactly.
he's on
And
BLS.
so did Shayla.
Yeah. So they kind of just, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The evolution.
Makes sense.
Nice. I have no idea what y'all talking about. So,
Well, we speaking to
that's
the people
beautiful.
in the area.
No.
They know.
I love it because I'm learning. So wait, you said NJ Pack.
Yes.
Because we over here like talking on the sidelines about how Chiara is like super prepared and just her media presence is, you belong like on the radio or on TV.
I told you she's Sid from Brown Sugar. I'm telling you, that's what she is.
It's beautiful. So you said that you were at Mocha, and then you're at Hot, and then at Power. What was between that time?
So I actually headed back to New Jersey and took part in something that was really, really special. I worked at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center.
AKA NJ
Pack in Newark.
AKA
Woo-hoo.
Pack.
Yeah.
I've been there. I was at Black Girls Rock out there.
Hey.
Of course you were. Ain't nobody surprised.
Heavy
Yeah,
eye
but what
roll.
about, the other philanthropic things that they do in NJ
Right.
Pack?
I'm not as familiar. So like, put
Right.
us on.
I saw Maya Angelou at NJ Pack, and that was a life-changing experience. And I saw Queen Latifah at Pack. I mean, they do some like really dope things. My parents, thankfully, were really about exposing me to different things, and so Pack was on the come up when they redid the whole thing, and they redid all the theaters and stuff. They've had Alvin Ailey there. I took my mom there for Mother's Day one year.
Yep.
So it's dope.
The cool thing about NJPAC and why it's so important to me specifically, it was a revitalization catalyst in the city of Newark and actually started the year I was born. So Governor Keene, in conjunction with Mayor Sharp James, and then also with advocacy from my grandfather as affirmative action consultant, put together a plan to create the space that was downtown Newark that was empty space and to put a performing arts center there that would be for the community.
Nice.
And so in the evolution, 20 plus years later, and my grandfather passing away and the evolution of where I was in my career in my space, I felt obligated when there was an opportunity to go back and give back. And so I came into a marketing position, and that evolved to creating a community engagement department where I worked hand in hand with the VP to create a brand new department dedicated to educating, enriching, and developing new audiences for the Arts Center. And so when you think about the evolution of an art center going as a revitalization mechanism in a city, you get more towards the business model, but how do you kind of continue to keep an anchor into fundamentally supporting the bottom line mission, which, it's bottom line about the budget, making budget, but it's also about how are you continuing to drive the mission and the value proposition and making sure that the gold doors that can be intimidating to some people in the local community, that they're open and wide and they create opportunities for you to come in.
Nice. All right. So we want to hear about some fun stuff.
Okay.
All right. Top 5 moments.
Yeah.
Any company, any age.
Obviously, Diana's up there. Gotta be.
Yeah. Okay.
Or top 3.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Being backstage at Tidal.
Oh.
For the, the first Tidal show that they did, it was Barclays. It was 10/20, I believe it was, or the first one. They did one last year.
It was 2015, right?
Yeah, it was the year before last. So Fab was on that show.
You and just Nikki, buddies with Fab. He's everywhere.
And Usher. I mean, being in the hallway there, I was like, I am in the presence of the greatest people who are in this industry right now. And it's, I'm standing here and I'm working, and this is special. And that was like definitely top 3, being backstage at Tidal. I think for my own, and that's just more so like a grounding sentiment, right? That's like just, okay, I'm here, I've arrived, this is cool, now what's next? Diana Ross in that moment, 100% like on my top 3, because it was pivotal of understanding my value proposition and what I brought to the table. Because what I did was, and how I move is just because it was inherent in how I was taught. Mm-hmm. And it was very trial by fire. I think that oh goodness, this is hard. Going to Bonnaroo in 2008 and working on the Fuse Barn. It was the first quote unquote permanent temporary structure on the site. Built a barn, branded it Fuse, and did like bull rides and pie eating contests, and like the entire thing was branded with Fuse products. That was really cool. But I think that some of the coolest stuff that I've done to date is in my earliest years, because people put opportunities in front of me that honestly I don't really think I was qualified to do, damn, you put a lot of value in my hands.
Yeah.
I went to something called Virgin Music Festival in 2008 too, right after Bonnaroo. And the people who brought me to Bonnaroo said, hey, we're going to Virgin Music Festival in Maryland. It was at Pimlico Racetrack. It's now Free Fest, as how it's evolved to in present day. Don't know if it's still happening. The person I was working for got sick. It was a full grounds integration with like tents and pods and like, branding with Virgin phones and like full build out 3 stages. And guess what? I killed it. Nice. And at the end of the week, I went for free, and they handed me a $1,200 check, and I was like, okay, I can do this.
And what were you, like 22, 21 at the time?
Yeah, 2008. Yeah, I wasn't even graduated college.
That's
I was
amazing,
20.
yo.
I was 20 years old.
$1,200 is a lot of money back then,
like
too.
You've also just been blessed. You've been in the right place at the right time a lot of the time, and then your talent has carried you the rest of the way, which is dope. Every story it's like someone got sick or someone wasn't there, but then they trusted you with that responsibility on top of that, which speaks to a lot of things about you, which is great.
And I think that, I guess those are my top 3 because they were pivotal. Working on a jam band electronic based music festival from soup to nuts, from everything from like a 3-day camping festival where you literally popped up tents and stages and took over a festival in the middle of the woods.
Right.
Like, that's an amazing experience. You got a lot of fucked up people.
Yeah.
Which made me step out of that game.
Right.
But a great experience.
So what are you looking forward to most now? Like, what do you have coming up next?
KT Euphoria is coming up next. It's coming up this summer. Super stoked about that. Started at iHeartMedia actually last year, about 2 weeks before KT Euphoria. So it's going to be my first one under my belt as like my baby, if you will, from soup to nuts. Did Powerhouse this year, so that was great. You know, looking stoked for Powerhouse. And honestly, there's some really cool things cooking with iHeartMedia right now. You know, our app just advanced to, you know, our app plus, which is technology that's very different. It's similar to your, you know, your Spotify and your customized playlist and all that kind of stuff, but now you're taking the radio mechanism in the way that we've always absorbed content and you being able to curate in real time and like interact with the songs. And so now you're listening to something and now you can kind of, you know, you have your play by play, you have one place where you kind of correlate all that information in one, which is super cool.
Paid service?
Yeah, paid service.
Gotcha.
But completely comparable on the pay scale to Spotify, cheaper than Tidal for sure. So
Everything's cheaper than
Tidal.
yeah.
Okay. So where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me at Chiaramo, Chiaramo, and you can find me on LinkedIn, Chiara Morrison.
She's like, I'm giving y'all the professional.
I'm a professional. Thank you.
Locations to spot me. Hello.
That was great.
like,
we've never had anybody shout out on LinkedIn before. That's
she's
beautiful.
a professional. Because she's a lady. That's
She's
why.
a lady.
You trying to get at me? You can find me on LinkedIn, ChiaraMorrison. It's only one of me that works at iHeartMedia.
Hey.
And you know what we didn't talk about, but I want to, you know what, I'll top moments for me, and you can say all the top like celebrity moments and all that. I was sitting in my father's bedroom and he said, you know, you're giving people a lot of free advice. And I said, right, got you. But I was like, but I don't know what to, he's like, pick up the iPad, incorporated.com and LLC. And I LLC'd myself. And I have an LLC called Creative Mind. And I did that while I was working at NJPAC. And I was taking on consulting clients. And I was in a position where, honest to goodness, either I was going to get this job at iHeartMedia or I was going to quit NJPAC and I was going to go do my own thing. And so I created, you know, that's when you talk about what I'm most excited about, what I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to being able to tap into my inner passions and manifest what I want to do independently from every other mechanism around me in the future. And to be independent.
Yo, I see you on a panel right now. You gonna be giving advice?
It's so funny. I mean, I just, you know, because it seems so long ago, but it was like a year ago. I had a full-blown client portfolio. I helped to produce AMREF Health Africa's first art ball, and I worked with the Positive Community, a church magazine. Shout out to them, still in the churches, still doing their thing. Now I have a digital platform, helped them with their gala, and then did one-on-one consulting and coaching. You know, people who are looking for a job. How do you take your resume and your cover letter and your portfolio, and how do you tell a story about why you need that job, and how do you create opportunities for yourself? Because I started to know
that's such a valuable resource.
People started asking me questions. You know, how do you, the same thing for you to brand a brand, the same thing happens for yourself.
Right.
Same thing. So it was a marketing, branding, and events all together in one, Creative Mind. I'm the entity that is Creative Mind, creating connected resources for people to become successful.
Yo, give a hand clap for that.
Word. Just lit.
Yo.
And I think when I say all that, I'm excited to be here with you in common company and to be able to, you know, crack a mic and have a conversation, because the reality is that regardless of who may hear this or who we may talk to, right? What it is we've created a positive force of energy and creativity and conversation where this may create more opportunities for you, or to spark interest outside of you, or to, you know, think outside the box or creatively about what your next move is. Because like my trajectory was not straight. And I don't believe that it will be straight in the future. But God forbid something happened, I lost my job tomorrow, you better believe I don't mind going to hostess at a restaurant around the corner.
Hello.
Right. Well, we appreciate you so much dropping all this knowledge and this dopeness here today.
Woo woo. Thank you for having me,
I love you, girl.
ladies.
That was beautiful.
So
you can find us on Twitter at Black Meets World, or you can find us on Instagram, Black_Meets_World, or D, where could they email us?
At info@blackmeetsworld.com or at blackmeetsworld@gmail.com.
Blessings. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.